Old Man Logan was pulled out of his universe, and thanks to the Secret Wars, he was brought to the current proper Marvel universe. But what will he do now? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down to the digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. The only thing Logan can remember is a white light, and then waking up in Times Square. Except, Times Square should be gone. All of this, it's all dead. Wait, who is he? Scotty? No. As Logan tries to make sense out of what's going on, some officers begin to ask him if he's okay, and he lashes out at them, throwing a metal barricade at one of the officers and breaking the arm of the other. The first officer fires his taser, and then Logan tries to run at him, and the officer pulls out his gun, shooting him. Logan falls over, and as he picks himself up, he pulls out his claws and he remembers. Oh God, he remembers. The world isn't like this anymore. The villains finally got their act together and they took over. And the worst of them was Banner. He had a family. He was trying to be happy, but it really did just end all the same. Blood, death, and him, alone like an animal. Looking at his claws, Logan runs off to find a place to think because this is all different. So he finds an apartment to crash in and he looks at the paper, dated 2015. This was before everything went bad. Somehow he's back. Before the wastelands, before his family. How the hell is that even possible? He begins to get dressed and he looks down at his hat, and he thinks how Scotty had a hat just like that. That was until one day when Black Butcher took his hat while they were trading and smacked Scotty, knowing Logan wouldn't do anything. Logan wanted to do something, but he didn't, and he left. Then it happened. Except it hasn't happened yet, so maybe he was sent here to do something about it. Do what he does best. So Logan begins searching for him, asking all of the lowlifes until finally, a few days later, they give him the answer that he wanted. As the night begins to cover the city, Logan jumps through a window knowing that this is where the Black Butcher was. And as he lands, Logan is tased by a younger Butcher telling him that he doesn't know why he's looking for him, but he picked a fight with the wrong guy. Just as the Butcher raises his arm to tase Logan again, the Butcher's arm goes flying off. Logan grabs him and the Butcher says, "Is this about the robbery in Jersey? I didn't mean to hurt those people." And Logan tells him, "This isn't about that. You hit my boy." Butcher tries to say he doesn't even know his boy, but Logan holds his fist to his chin and then schnicked. As the Butcher's body falls to the ground, Logan knows why he is here. He's here to hunt. So he takes out a pen and holds his arm out, crossing the name Butcher. And next is Banner. Logan begins to remember back to one night when he could hear the screams of another farmer die at the hands of the Banner clan. Logan and his wife Maureen would go to the farmer's home the next day to see his body in pieces, and she tells him there's nothing they can do. Logan tells her that maybe there was something he could do, and Maureen tells him this isn't his fight. He has a family now. He's already fought his wars, so he should just go home before they hear him and come this way. Except Maureen was wrong. It was his fight. All he did was watch, and that was what got his family killed. So now that he is in the past, 2015, he's not sure how, but he's here and it's time to set things right. He traveled through the sewers of Manhattan when he finds the Hulk helping with the traffic pileup. This isn't the first time that he's fought Banner, so he knows where to aim first. The legs. Logan crawls through the sewers and he runs past the Hulk, slashing at his ankles. Before getting too far, Hulk grabs Logan by the head and Logan slashes again at his hand, this time freeing himself. Hulk tells him that if he wants to fight, fine, but not here. There are too many people. And he punches Logan hard, sending him flying. He jumps after him, but before knocking him back to the ground, Logan thinks, this doesn't sound like Banner. For a second, doubt crosses Logan's mind, but then he remembers what his kids will do to Logan's kids, and he won't let that happen. He tries to jump back up to attack, but Hulk kicks him upwards through a building all the way to the top. Logan looks over at a crane coming from the roof and he thinks, new plan, distract him. With a quick slice, Logan cuts the crane arm to fall, and once Hulk catches it, he moves into attack. But before he can swing, Hulk grabs Logan's arm and crushes it, and then he slams him down, telling him, that's enough. But it isn't for Logan as he stands back up, and the Hulk tells him, okay, time out. You actually look kind of messed up. Logan begins to think again that this really doesn't sound like Banner, so he asks. And Hulk tells him, Banner? No, wrong guy. My name's Amadeus Cho, I'm the new Hulk. Amadeus says maybe he can help him, but Logan hears the cops coming and he runs off. As he looks at the streets, he thinks, Brooklyn. Amadeus punched me into Brooklyn, but that's good. I know someone here. He was the only friend that I had in the future. so all I have to do is sneak into his apartment and wait for him to return. In the apartment, a dog runs up to Logan and begins to lick him, so he asks where his daddy is. And then he looks up to see an arrow pointed right at him. He asks, Barton? Hawkeye? But the girl tells him, you're only half right. Logan looks up and he says he remembers. She's the other Hawkeye. This isn't Barton's place. She tells him her name is Kate Bishop, not other Hawkeye, but Clint's away on a mission. And now it's her turn to ask the questions, like why is he ancient looking and isn't he dead right now? Logan explains that he's from the future, which Kate doesn't find very surprising since the X-Men are always time traveling. But what she wants to know is what's with the list on his arm. He tells her that in a few years the bad guys will finally rise together and all of the heroes will die, and that's the world that he came from. But if he kills the people on his arm, the future doesn't happen. So Kate asks him, what about Clint? And he says that he was one of the ones that didn't die. A villain named Avalanche blinds him, and I always end up helping him, so... She tells him that can't be right, but Logan walks off stating, don't worry, my healing factor will kick in soon. Thanks for the hospitality. I'm just gonna be going on my... But before Logan can leave, he collapses. Slowly, Logan begins to wake back up and he sees that he's still in the apartment and he asks how long he's been out. Kate tells him about 33 hours, but after giving him a cup of coffee, she says, let's say that I believe you're from the future. Who else is on that list? Mysterio? I know where he is, so let's go. Logan tries to say that he works alone, but Kate tells him blah blah blah, the grim Wolverine hunts alone, and now I'm even more grim because I'm like 90 years old. Okay, so how about we just skip that part and we go off together? As the two of them travel through the city, Kate says that she needs to know something about the future. Who is the female Thor? She's dying to know. But Logan asks, who? And Kate tells him, you know, the female Thor. Isn't there one where you come from? And he tells her, no, but that doesn't matter. People change costumes and names all the time. I probably just missed it. Once the two of them reach the building that they're looking for, Kate tells him to hold on. First, he doesn't know about a female Thor. The thing about Avalanche, well, he's been dead. So maybe this isn't his past. Maybe take some time. Logan pulls his claws out, stating that he's had nothing but time, and time's up. He kicks in the door and he begins sniffing around until he finds two men and asks, where's Mysterio? The men say they don't know any Mysterio, but Logan tells them not to lie and he slices one of the man's hands off. Kate tells him to stop firing an arrow next to his head, but Logan turns to her telling her the one thing that she should know is that his healing factor works great against arrows, and then he turns towards Kate. With a quick slash, he rips through her bow, and Kate counters by hitting him in the chin and knocking him away. After regaining his balance, Logan grabs Kate by the neck and he slams her into the wall and she asks, what, you gonna kill me too? And Logan tells her, I'm trying to save everyone, and he begins to leave. Once outside, he begins to smell something and he begins to climb up a ladder. And something hits his wrist, knocking him back down. A man tells him that he's gonna need to stand down, soldier, and as Logan looks up, the shield hits off the wall, bouncing back to the older Steve Rogers, and he tells him, that's an order. Logan asks if it's really him, but then Steve asks, is it really you? And Logan gets back up. Kate draws her bow, telling Steve to be careful, he's unstable, and Logan points at Steve, stating, that's not you. Steve never went old like this. Steve tells him, take a breath, we'll figure it out. The claws pop out and Logan tells them, you're not taking me anywhere. And a second later, the arrow releases and the shield cracks Logan in the face. Later, Logan wakes up to see Steve and Kate, but they're not in the city anymore. They're in Alberta. Steve says, yes, near your home. The X-Men thought it would be a fitting place for it. And Logan asks him, what is it? And Steve tells him what they're here to show him, but before he lets him free, he needs his word that he'll behave. Logan agrees, but as Steve starts to untie him, Logan asks if this is one of Mysterio's illusions. Are they really back in New York? Steve tells him to wait, but then the claws come out and Logan begins to fight with Steve and Kate. Logan cuts through Kate's bow, and she tells him that that was the second bow that he trashed. The fighting continues with Steve beating down on Logan with the shield until finally he stops moving. Through his heavy breathing, Logan tells him, you have to stop it. I'm from the future where everyone's dead. You, the X-Men, everyone. I have to stop it from happening. Steve walks off telling him, you need to see something. The three of them walk into a cabin that's close by, and Steve explains that one of his X-Men, Forge, designed this place to let him rest in peace. As the elevator comes down, Logan sees the figure of him. And Steve says that that is him, encased in adamantium. He died. This isn't his past. Their Wolverine is dead. Well, Logan walks over to the figure and asks, this is really him, isn't it? And Steve tells him, yes, he died. So how is it you got here? As Logan tries to remember, he tells him, I don't know. All that I remember is my family, the wastelands, and then a flash. Steve asks him, family? And Logan tells him, yeah, I lost my family to the Banner clan. And Steve follows up, Banner? Lord, what kind of nightmare did you come from? As he stands there, Logan tells him, the worst kind. I've seen enough. And he begins to leave. Steve tells him that he wants to help, but Logan tells him that if he wants to help, just let him go. Ain't no place for him here and Wolverine is dead. Let him stay that way. So Logan did what he's good at and he drifted around. This wasn't his past. So much is the same, but so much is different. There's nothing for him to fight here, so he will just become a ghost. But with all of that time, he still can't shake the feeling that he's just biding time. But for what? And then he found it. Logan sniffs the air and the claws come out and a sentinel drops in. He leaps towards it, but the sentinel tells him, "Please wait, don't hurt me." As a claw stabs into his chest, Logan asks, "Not hurt you? What is this?" Then Logan hears someone. It's Storm and Iceman as she asks if it's really him. And Logan stops and thinks how the past is gone, and tomorrow may well bring the hell that he fears. But today it feels damned good to be alive. This is the beginning of the Old Man Logan solo arc, and it's a really good story. We're going to be bringing you the next part of it very soon, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date on the Marvel stories and the DC stories and all the other stories that we do. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian. I'll see you guys next time right here.